In today's video, we're going to see if these LEDs will work properly if I lengthen the distance between two of the LEDs. Let's get to it. What's up guys, and welcome to TopShelf Media. So today I'm going to take this extra section of Lumary permanent Eaves lights and try and add some cabling in between two of the LEDs to be able to get it to wrap around my chimney. Now, I'm loving these lights, and I've already done a full review on them, so if you want to go check that out, I'll link it up in the YouTube card right up there. Also, I'll put links down in the description if you're interested in purchasing this product. Like I said, I'm loving these lights, but I did have a bit of an issue with it. The second to last LED in this section quit working, so I contacted Lumary support and they sent me out a whole new section. Also, I've been curious if splicing these cables would even work, and now we have the ability to test it. Now, I won't be permanently reinstalling this section of LEDs in this video. I need to wait for the new adhesive pads to come in. Also, when I was initially installing these on the soffit of my house, I was a little worried that the adhesive wouldn't hold and eventually I'd have lights falling off. And after trying to remove these from the soffit of my house, I'm not worried about that anymore. They were on there really well. Okay, let's get this party started. Oh, and I'm not an electrician, so take what I say with a grain of salt. All right, so I know I need to go in between the first and second LED on this strip. Here's my connector to go to the one that's already up there. I know I need about one LED before I hit my chimney. And so I don't know exactly where I want to cut these, but I can always trim it and shorten it up later if I need to. So I'm just going to go right in the middle for now so I know that I have plenty of length. Also, you want to note that these are marked back here. You have writing on one of them, nothing on the middle one, and then gray lines or black lines on the other ones. And these are usually hidden, so that way when they're up against your soffit, this part is the part that's showing, not this part. But you want to make sure you know which one's which because you don't want to cross any of the cables. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to make my cut here. How terrible would it be if I all of a sudden realized I did the wrong side? So I'm going to try and pull these apart. This could be my biggest issue here. All right, so I'm going to be very careful not to cut too much. Just kind of gonna score it here. All right, so I'm just gonna get my cables prepped here and we'll move on. Okay, so now that I have the cables prepped, we are dealing with 22 gauge wire. Now this isn't a solid wire, it's little strands of copper wire. Now I will be connecting these for this test with Wago connectors. When I go to actually permanently install, I'm going to install them with something waterproof, you know, probably something more along the lines of these crimp and shrink butt splices. And then I'll probably wrap them in some type of white heat shrink too as well, just so that I don't have these pink, I think the pink ones are my 22s, yeah. So I don't have just the pink connectors hanging out. But for this test, we're just going to use the Wago connectors because we'll be able to tell if this is going to work or not without having to waste those. Let's go ahead and get this connected up. So like I said, we need our wire. I got to prep this too. So let me prep this real quick. All right, one side's done. Let's get it connected. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. So because these lay out this way, I'm going to do these in the same order. And so I have right now, this top one here is this striped one. I'm going to make that one red. So I'm going to go here. Make sure these are all nice and tight. So I'm going to take my little Wago connectors here. Wago, however you want to say it. I have no idea. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shove this on in there. Let's get this, there we go. All right, that seems to be in there. And then I think I said the top one. Yep, top one's going to be red. Good. And then that means my middle one's going to be green and the other one's going to be white. Seems to be tight. All right, just got to do the other end. Okay, so now is when I got to make sure I'm not crossing my wire. So what did I say? Red is the black striped one. Then should be green. Should be the middle. Yep. And then white. So we have these in there. They seem to be pretty tight. I'm happy with that. I think that these are going to work really well. Like I said, These aren't permanent. I'm going to be using these when I go to permanently install them. And then probably some more white heat shrink. Also, I'm going to get probably some all white cable as well. So that way I don't have this white, red, and green like wrapped, you know, from one side of my chimney around to the other. So I'm going to get some all white so it's less noticeable. We are ready to test it. Unfortunately, it is 11 o'clock at night, which means even if I wanted to go up on my roof right now to actually install these and test them, you wouldn't really be able to see much up there other than the lights themselves and maybe my silhouette walking around and talking. So we're going to put a pause on this, and then tomorrow we'll go up on the roof and see if these lights are fully functioning. All right, change of plans. It is raining outside, or it's beginning to rain outside, and I don't want to take my camera equipment and stuff outside and try and film this up on the roof and get stuck in the rain. So I was able to bring in a controller for my lower eaves lights because I forgot I actually attached these up there with the 3M Velcro tabs. And so I was able to just pull this down, bring it in, and we can actually test it and see if it's working. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, I have the app open. We're ready to go. Let's go ahead and turn these on and make sure they are wired up correctly. Okay. Absolutely. We got our first LED, no change for that one there. Our second one is this one right here. Seems to be working just fine. Our groups, let's go ahead and I'll turn off just the first 3 lights. 1, 2, 3. This one here. Okay, that seems to be working. Everything seems to be in working order. Let's go ahead. We'll just do some colors here. Okay. That one turned red. A few of these are not matching up. And it's weird because it's the first one, because right now it should be on green. And the third one, this one's flickering a little bit. I mean, it works. It's working. I am having an issue with a couple of the LEDs not doing the right color. But that very well could have been an issue beforehand. Okay, so I think I've confirmed that this was an existing issue before we tried to modify these lights. Mainly because I re-spliced together the ends of the cables that we cut. We're still having the same problem. Also, the fact that it's random LEDs throughout the section and not the groups of LEDs. So like I mentioned in the review, you control these lights in groups of 3. And if it was the first 3 lights were doing this, then I'd say, yeah, we probably messed something up. But the fact that it's the first LED, which 1, shouldn't change anything. 2, it's the third to last LED that's having a problem as well. That makes me think that the issue lies with the LEDs themselves and not because we've tried to modify the length of the cable. But I think this was a success. I think it's working. Obviously, we know you can splice these cables, cut them, and put a longer section in between the LEDs. It's possible. You can totally do that. Now, is the issue coming from I'm using a faulty section of LEDs? More than likely. That would be my guess. If you were to do this with a good section of LEDs, I think you would have better results. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I put some things on screen for you guys to go check out. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and I will see you in the next video.